lovelies, welcome back. It's your girl Katie here, and today's video is going to be a full face of drugstore products only. So I did try to keep the price range on each of these products under $10. I think there's only one product in here that is over $10, but I really tried hard to pick only products that were pretty affordable. So I'm just going to be trying these all on my face today. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into this video. Alright, so most of these products I have tried out already. I think there's maybe only one or two that I haven't tried before, but most of these I've tried, I've used, and I do like them. So let's go ahead and start with foundation. I already prepped my face. I don't use primer, I just use moisturizer, so I don't have a primer to show you guys. So the foundation I'm going to be using is the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation. Now, these retail for about $6, and I have the shade Snow. So I'm just going to start pumping a little bit of this on the back of my hand. I guess I'll zoom you guys in. There we go. You guys are zoomed in. So e.l.f. does have quite a, it's pretty affordable brand. I wouldn't say they're the cheapest. I think Wet n Wild is still the cheapest, but they do have affordable products, and I do like them. So I do have a bit drier skin, and I find that this one does not dry my skin out. Sometimes with these satin or kind of matte finishes, I always have trouble with those because they do tend to dry me out because I do have dry skin. But I find that this one does not do that, and doesn't really cling to my dry areas either. It's just a pretty good foundation. I will say that the coverage is probably not the fullest. I would say it's probably about medium. And it does have a slight fragrance. But it's not overpowering in my opinion, but just a heads up. Because I know some people out there are sensitive to fragrances. Alright, and then moving on to concealer. Again, another e.l.f. product, and this is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer here. And this retails also for $6. And they do have the regular 16-Hour Camo Concealer, and then they have a hydrating camo concealer as well. So if you need more hydration, you can go with that one. I think this one has better coverage than the hydrating one, because it is hydrating. I find that it's a bit thinner. Alright, now to set my face, I'm going to be using the Airspun Loose Face Powder. I honestly believe this is the best drugstore powder there is out there. This retails for $5.72, and you get this pretty big container, and this has lasted me for a really long time. You don't need a lot to set your face. The only thing that I find that may be a bit offsetting for some people, or what people might not like about it, is that it does have a fragrance. It's not a super heavy fragrance, but it does smell. It smells like your grandma's makeup or something, like really old. Not like expired makeup, but just like old time makeup. It's got that kind of smell to it. It doesn't last on the skin, or at least I haven't noticed it, the smell lingering, but it does smell. Like when you're applying it, I can smell it. But I find that this setting powder is just really good for setting the whole face. It doesn't dry me out, doesn't make me look cakey. It's just a really good powder. And I find that I like to use brushes to set my face when I'm using powders. I like it better than the sponge. See, that's all I needed, just a little bit. Now moving on to brows. I really like the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Soft Brown. So this retails for $6.45. I think that's an odd price, but that's what it said on the website. I think you can find this at Walmart. Anyway, so it comes with a spoolie and then just a very fine tip. And I just like to just fill my brows in with this. I don't usually do anything special with my brows. I just kind of fill in where it's a little bit on the bald side. But with this very fine tip, you probably could do those hair strokes or do those that technique where you make it look like you're adding eyebrow hair in. I don't really care to do that. I just fill in the bald spots and just kind of like blend it out. But if you want to do more of that natural look, you could for sure do that with this. If you hear any background noise, my AC kicked in because it's hot, so excuse that. There you go. That's all I really do to my brows. I don't really do that much, but I do really like this brow product. Alright, moving on to bronzer. So I have this Wet n Wild bronzer here. This is the Color Icon bronzer, and this is in the shade Sunset Striptease. Let me open it up. So here is what it looks like. It is kind of more like those summery kind of looking bronzers where it looks like it has a bit of that glow in there. But this retails for $5.50. Wet n Wild is super affordable, like I said. So for that size of a pan, I think that's a really good price. So I'm just going to go in. But there you go, that's on. I like this bronzer a lot. I think it looks really nice on the skin. Another thing that I like to do with this Airspun loose setting powder is after bronzing, I like to go in with just like this little sponge thing from Tati Beauty, and I will actually like place them down here and kind of like chisel out, kind of like clean up what I just did. That way it kind of gives me more of a defined jaw, and I find that this powder is really good for that. So I'm not going to bake, but you could bake with this. I'm just cleaning up with it. So I take that and I do that. And then I will say this stuff gets everywhere. Like it doesn't have one of those sifters on it, so you can make big messes. I just made a big mess on my desk, but it's fine. Anyways, and then I'll just take just a brush and just kind of brush it off. I just think it makes my bronzer look a bit cleaner. So moving on to blushes, I have two here from Milani. These are just their powder blushes. They look like the little flowers. So this one's in Romantic Rose, and then this one's in Blossom Time Rose. These blushes realized for $9.99. I have two of them just because I can't decide which one I want to use today. I think I'm kind of leaning towards this one over here. This one's like really pinky, really pinky looking. I like the look of this one, so I think I'm going to go with this one today. Again, this is in the shade Blossom Time Rose. I'm just going to go in with just a brush. I just love how these look. They're just so pretty. It's a nice gradual blush. Like you could go in super light-handed or you could build it up. I will say it does kind of have like that luminous kind of like shade to it where it does kind of like make you look very kind of not super shiny, but it gives you that glow. Alright, and then for highlighter, I have one here from Catrice, and man, I don't know why nobody talks about Catrice much. I feel like I don't hear about them very much, but they have some really good products. I recently came across them, started buying some of their products, and I've been really impressed. So this is the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter. This is in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. This retails for $6, and they have like another one that I really like. It's like an all-over glow one or something. I don't remember the exact name, but it's a big one. It's like the size of this L'Oreal bronzer here. It's about that size, and it's only like $10, and man, does it a beaming highlighter. It's just really beaming highlighter. You know, only you need a little bit but I decided to use this one today because I wanted to try this one out. I don't remember if I don't think I have tried this one out before, but I know from swatching it that it's a beaming one. So going with this, but I'm surprised no one talks about their highlighters because I think they're really good. Look at that. But do you see that glow? And only $6 for this. Look at that. You can definitely build it up to that beam, or you could do kind of more like a subtle highlight if you want. I just think this is so pretty. Yeah, I don't hear enough people talking about Catrice Cosmetics, especially when it comes to their highlighters. Dang. Alright, so moving on to the palette. Now this palette is from Milani. I have a lot of Milani products, but I like Milani. So this is the Gilded Gold palette here. Now this is the only product that's over $10. This palette is $20. I think I got this on sale at Ulta, but yeah, it's one of the pricier for drugstore. But I find that drugstore palettes are becoming kind of more pricier. Like they used to be, I think it depends on the brand, but lately I've been seeing like $15 palettes lately. Anyways, so here's this one, and here's what it looks like. Right off the bat, I kind of feel like this is not an exact dupe, but this reminds me a lot of like the Natasha Denona like gold palette or whatever. That's what it reminds me of. But anyways, I haven't tried this palette out, so this will be a first impression of this palette, but yeah. So I'm just going to be using this today. I honestly don't have that many drugstore palettes, so it's kind of limited with what I could use today. I have a lot of ColourPop palettes, and I wanted to use some of those because I feel like they have better prices and their quality is a lot better than some drugstores, but most people don't consider them like drugstore. I consider them drugstore, but some people don't, so I was trying to do drugstore products only. So I just went in with Extra Basic, and it seems pretty pigmented. It's a nice brown shade. I love these kinds of shades to use as transition shades. There is some kick up, but that's pretty common with palettes. Alright, now I'm going to go into Fembot, I think is how you say that. I don't know. If you hear any weird noise in the background, my dog's in the room with me and he's snoring, so FYI. Alright, so this so far is blending out really well, and it's really pigmented. I think I'm going to deepen up the outer corner with this dark brown over here called Legacy. Alright, and then for the shimmer shade, I want to try this for the Throne shade right here. It's like this nice kind of like silvery kind of shade that looks like it has kind of like a weird shift to it. So that's what I want to try out, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. Hopefully the shimmers are just as good as the mattes have been. It's definitely not as like bright as I was hoping. It's kind of darker, I feel. Yeah, it's an interesting shade. I'm not sure if this is what I was kind of like looking for. So I'm going to put it down on the other eye, and then I'm probably going to go in with another shimmer shade. I don't know, it's not bad, but maybe my base is too dark because I feel like it's not popping like I want it to. It's definitely an interesting shade. It's just, I was hoping it would be a bit more silvery, and it kind of seems more like bronzy. I don't know how to describe colors, guys. But it's pigmented, it's just not as shiny as I want it. Alright, so now I think I'm going to go into the one next to it. It's like Dora or something. Doror. It's kind of gold shade. I'm going to kind of put that kind of on top of what I just put on. Again, it's like, it's darker than I keep thinking it's going to be. That's okay. I'll place this down. And then we'll go in with one more shade. I want something brighter. I want that pop. That's what I want. Alright, so third time's the charm. I'm going to go in with this pretty bright looking one, this ultra gilded, and kind of put that more kind of towards the inner corner. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a bit brighter. It's kind of what I was looking for. Now I'm going back in with that dark brown Legacy and just kind of packing that on. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish my eyes off camera, and then I'll come back to try out the last 3 products. Alright, so I'm back. I have the rest of my eyes done, so now I'm going to move on to the mascara. And the mascara I'm going to be using is the Maybelline Sky High mascara here. Yeah, this mascara has quickly become one of my favorites, from drugstores at least. So, just going to go ahead and apply this on. This is supposed to volumize, and I definitely say it does volume. I wouldn't say it gives you like false lashes, but it definitely gives me more volume than what my natural lashes do, or how they look. But yeah, this mascara is just really easy to apply. It doesn't like get clumpy on me. Definitely understand the hype that this mascara got. This mascara retails for $11.49, by the way. So this one is one of those ones that was kind of over $10, but it's barely over it. So there's about one coat on. Now I'm going to apply a second one. And then there's about 2 coats on. I didn't let it dry, so it may be better if you let it dry in between, but I'm kind of impatient right now. So moving on to lip products, I have 2 here from Milani, and these are the More Shine Liquid Lip Colors here. These retail for about $8.99. So I have the shade Charming here, and then Crush. I really do like these. These don't dry down, unfortunately. That's like the only thing I wish that they did, but I think they are very beautiful, like neutral colors here, or like nudes. Which one do I want to wear? I think I'm going to wear Charming, kind of more this pinkyish nude. These are really pigmented, and I just like them. I just think they're very pretty colors. Mine are probably honestly getting old. I probably need to throw this out soon, but for the purpose of the video, here they are. But yeah, I just really like this formula. Yeah, I just really wish that it dried down, because these will transfer pretty bad. But I just think the colors are very pretty. Alright, and then last but not least is a setting spray. And this is here one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Jen Atkin setting spray. I don't think you can actually get this anymore, but I didn't have any other like setting spray from the drugstore. But I know that they still sell different setting sprays, and they're about, I think for the size, it's about $10. I think this was just a collaboration. I don't think there's anything special about this spray. And I did see that e.l.f. also has a $5 setting spray, so you can still get some for a pretty affordable price. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and set my face. There we go, guys. Here is the completed look. Not too shabby. So quick run through of everything I tried today. So for the base, I used the Flawless Satin Foundation from e.l.f. and the Camo Concealer. Both really good products. I enjoy these a lot. And then to set my face, I used the Airspun Loose Setting Powder in Translucent Shade. I do really, really like this powder. It's one of my favorites. And then for bronzer, I use the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer here. This is again in the shade Sunset Striptease. And then for blush, I use the Milani powdered blush in the shade of Blossom Time Rose. And then for highlighter, the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter. Like I said, I'm really impressed with their highlighters for sure. I haven't tried everything from the brand, but the highlighters I definitely recommend. It's just very, very pretty, not too shimmery, just really gives you that beaming highlighter, and for an affordable price. And then for the palette, I use the Milani Gilded palette. Definitely think this palette is pretty pigmented and very pretty. I don't think this is my favorite all-time drugstore palette. Like I said, this is the first time I use this one. I think for the price point, it's a little bit on the pricey side. But it is good quality. Like the mattes worked out really well. And I don't know, I feel like again, I feel like this is supposed to look like a dupe for the Natasha Denona palette. I've never used that palette, so I can't say if this is a dupe for that, but that the color story just reminds me a lot of it. I was a little too disappointed in these two shimmer shades. Maybe I need to go in with a lighter foundation, but I feel like the mattes really aren't that light, so I wanted these to be brighter than they were. But this gold one right here worked really well. So a good palette, just not my favorite, but like I said, I was trying to stick with drugstore only, and unfortunately I don't have that many drugstores. Unless you guys consider ColourPop drugstore, then I can do a drugstore with ColourPop products. But not too shabby, pretty pigmented. Just the price range, I wish it was like $10, and I'd be like, yeah, get that, it's $10. But it's $20. Alright, and then the lip products, I really like these. These are my favorites from drugstore, definitely. And then mascara, Sky High mascara, definitely worth it. Definitely recommend this one. And then the setting spray was just an e.l.f. setting spray. Like I said, I don't think you can get this exact one, but I know that they have other ones similar to this. But yeah, that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, because that really does help out my channel here. And also let me know down in the comments what you thought of the products that I used today. Are any of these your holy grails? Do you have any of these products? Let me know down in the comments. I love chatting with you guys down there. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!